Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, I'm just trying to sell my house for 180,000. And they're like, dude, I know Bailey. He'll buy that house for 180,000. Let me call him up. Bailey, Bailey sees it and he knows right away.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Yeah, that's a deal. You come
Yeah.
back in a couple of days. Hey, yeah, I'll take that deal after all.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry, I already sold it.
Yeah.
So that happens. That happens more often than you think.
Mm-hmm.
Does that happen to you, Bailey?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it happens. You get bitten, and you're like, okay, that's not gonna happen again.
Yeah.
Stings.
Yeah, it stings.
Yeah.
So I think knowing, like what you said, getting to know your numbers, wanting to know that those ins and outs,
Mm-hmm.
that's not something you're gonna learn overnight.
Yeah.
But that's something definitely, partnering with somebody
Mm-hmm.
like Zeke,
Yeah.
he'd be able to help you identify that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a good skill to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of our guys here at the office, that's where they start.
Yep.
They start by comping properties.
Mm-hmm.
Getting real good at comping a property, being able to identify, why a property sold for this and why your property may not sell for the same price. You may see, hey, this is in the same neighborhood, but why is this property selling for 315,000, and this one over here, that's 305 is not moving. It's less expensive.
Mm-hmm.
What is going on? Can you identify that? And I think that's really going to help you.
Yeah, there's a saying, if you find the deal, somebody's got the money. So even if you lock it up, if you find an opportunity and you're like, well, I don't have the money for this, or I don't have the resources to do the remodel, you partner with somebody. But the key is to find the discounted deal. That's the whole, all the other stuff of, you got to find a way to hustle to find the money or partner with somebody. But the key is finding the deal. That's the sauce. And I know you talked about knocking on like pre-foreclosure doors and things like that, which is great. I think that's a great idea to not only, find opportunities, but help somebody in a tough position like you did with the situation with the other one.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the move.
Yeah. So on that, going back to that, you talked about you want to do wholesaling, which is basically finding the deal,
Mm-hmm.
negotiating the deal,
Yeah.
getting a property under contract.
Mm-hmm.
Because like Bailey said, that's the golden ticket. That's the property at a price that is worth investing in, that is worth getting under contract and being able to, do the rehabilitation on the property and then selling it for a profit.
Mm-hmm.
That's the key,
Yeah.
right? If you don't start with the property that you get a good deal on, everything else doesn't fall into place. So, that is a good skill to learn.
Mm-hmm.
So that you can then, maybe you don't want to do the flip.
Uh-huh.
Maybe you want to sell the contract.
Yeah.
So that would be a wholesale deal.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And so you're wholesaling or selling it off market.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of putting it on like on a shelf in Walmart,
Yeah.
which would be like the MLS.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of putting that house up on the market on the MLS, you're selling it to Walmart before it gets on the shelf,
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
you're giving Walmart a discounted deal.
Yeah.
And what's Walmart going to do with something they put on the shelf?
Mark it up.
They're going to mark it up, and that's what you're going to do.
Yeah,
So
free
that's-
commerce.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, do you have any questions for us?
Not right now.
Not right now, not at the moment.
Nothing that that's just burning in your brain.
For me, my biggest thing is just like, how do you not get discouraged? Like, for me, it's just like say something doesn't go my way, it's how do you bounce back from that? Like, how do you not let the little things affect you so
Yeah,
much?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think it's all a mentality.
Mhm.
It just remembering that. I think with a lot of young guys, you're 19 years old. Things don't come easy.
Yeah.
They take work and hard work, but it's just not. Everybody says that, oh, it's a grind, it's hard work, but it's doing it, for a long enough period.
Mm-hmm.
The hard work, a long enough time. A lot of young kids want things like this fast.
Yeah.
And I think not just young kids. I think everybody's kind of trained that way, where we want things overnight.
Yeah.
That instant gratification.
Yeah, instant gratification is a dopamine that just hits your brain differently.
Mhm.
But anything you want in life, I think everybody would agree with is gonna take some effort, especially good things take some effort.
Mhm.
So discouragement, it's gonna come in all the different forms because get prepared.
Yeah.
That happens. I mean,
Uh-huh.
you're gonna get a deal and it's gonna, it's gonna fall out because of things that are beyond your control.
Mhm.
You might get cussed out.
You could get yelled at. You could just make things that you have no control over. It's gonna happen. I
Mhm.
guarantee it. The one thing that you're gonna do is you're gonna learn from that,
Yeah.
and you're gonna go, okay,
Yeah, that's the big thing.
could
Just-
have avoided it and learn from
Yeah.
those lessons.
Mhm.
And on that note, I think having the mentality, it is a mentality thing of also from a long-term game, like long-term perspective. If this is something that's in your heart that you want to do, have the perspective, okay, is this something I see myself doing in 5 to 10 years? Because it takes, a while to get momentum going.
Yeah.
And if you have that perspective of like, no matter what happens, good or bad, like, yeah, everybody wants to make, money.
Mhm.
But if you have the perspective, okay, can I grow from this? Can I learn from it? That's the sauce, because the only difference between you and somebody who's been, have multi-million-dollar operation or whatever it may be, is the time and mistakes that they've made.
Mhm.
So that's the only difference, and the amount of money they're putting behind the operation after a while. So I think having the long-term vision, macro over the micro, the short term, because you look on Instagram and you're like, man, I'm not there, or you start comparing.
Yeah.
But I think having the long-term vision of enjoying the day-to-day, that some people would think is mundane, but find enjoying it.
Mhm.
I think that's the mentality to have.
Yeah. I think that is the key.
Mm-hmm.
Doing what you like to do. Bailey said enjoying it. So you got to enjoy talking to people. You got to enjoy, every part of business,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
is Felix gets excited when he runs a number and it's
Heck yeah. Like, I was doing engineering, dude. I was doing calculus and all this stuff. And I was starting to do now the engineering classes, like testings for stress on bridges and stuff like that. Figuring out if a bridge is going to give out or not, the different environments. And that was pretty cool stuff. And, like, I could have done some pretty crazy things with the engineering classes, but it wasn't my thing, bro. I didn't enjoy it. The classes weren't hard. It's just it wasn't my thing. But, like, I'm doing this now, right? And if an engineer goes like, really, dude, you dropped out of engineering to be doing this, what you're doing right now? I said, hell yeah.
Mhm.
Like, this is what pumps me up. This is what gets me going. I love doing this stuff. I love picking up the phones and calling other investors like, hey, what type of properties you looking for? I got something for you. Or even just running numbers.
Mhm.
I love running numbers. It's like, it feels good to be like, oh, this is what this property is worth. And I send that over to Anthony, and Anthony was like, "Oh, you're pretty spot on. Like that's how much this property is worth." And you just go, Fuck
Yeah, you'll hear Felix like, I'll have my door closed. Felix will have his door closed, and he just shouts like, "Let's go!" and I'm thinking in my head like, "Oh, he must have just landed a big old contract or something." And I go in there and like, "Felix, what's up?" He's like, "This MAO matched this MAO," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, he enjoys what he's doing,
It's all
that's
numbers.
that's I think if you find that joy in and that's an everyday thing, and to find joy in that's the sauce, man. That's all you can ask for. Everything else, as long as you do right by people and hustle, everything else will take care of itself.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So-
and I think another thing is, at your age, you're still figuring out what you want to do. Like you said you were going to be a nursing student. How long ago was that? Like a year ago?
In May.
Yeah, in May.
actually,
So, I mean,
about a year.
So you're going to go through this journey.
Yeah.
Right now, you're like, I want to get into real estate. I want to do wholesaling. You may find out that wholesaling is not your jam.
Mhm.
But you may go, because you mentioned you wanted to be a builder, you wanted to be a contractor. You may say, hey, I just want to buy the properties and the projects, and I want to flip them. I enjoy,
Yeah.
getting dirty and not dealing with some of these other deals, running the numbers. I just enjoy doing the rehab. I enjoy seeing it
Mhm.
being redone, because we have clients that are very successful, and they don't want to do what we do.
Yeah.
They want to, because I mean, I learned very quickly, I don't want to be doing the remodel. I can do it.
Yeah.
I know how to do it, but I don't want to do that every single day.
Mhm.
Can I find joy in it? Yeah. I I can find joy in a lot of things, but if I had to choose, I'd rather do what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know, talking to people, building relationships. Some people, they're not that way. They're kind of like quiet.
Yeah.
They want to, you know, not answer to anybody. They kind of just want to do their own speed. Well, maybe that's, you know, working on a project. There's something to that too.
Yeah.
Because when I used to flip houses and do the work, it was a lot of work. And you're not talking to people necessarily every single day.
Yeah.
You're just in the house, you're working, you're doing demo. There was a certain satisfaction to that, and no pressure. You're just like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm sitting on a good deal here. Just gonna do the work, and I'm done for the day. And when I get done in 3 months, I look back and go, wow, that house looked like trash, and now it looks like this. I feel really good about that.
Yeah.
So you're gonna find your niche in this industry. That's the beauty of this industry. There's so much.
Yeah.
There's so many different things you can do. And so the possibilities, that's got to be pretty exciting.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Yeah, like we have buddies they're in, you know, rentals, and that's all they want to do is they get so excited about having all their rentals. And we have other people that are, you know, they're mortgage lenders, they're flippers or they're investors, or, you know, they have their rental portfolio, but they do, you know, they found out that they really like doing mortgages, you know, and they invest on the side.
Yeah.
And that's the beautiful thing. You could learn that you like real estate and it's a great investing tool, but you want to go back to school to be a nurse
Yeah.
or a doctor, you know, whatever. So that's going to be the kind of cool
We
thing
got
to
some
see.
pretty big clients that are doctors.
Yeah, I mean, that's a nice thing about investing.
Anyone
real
could be a
estate.
part of it, yeah.
Yeah, you could just find your lane you want to be in.
Yeah, some people don't even want to flip or do rentals. They just want to lend. Like you do gap lending. Like, okay, you don't need hundreds of thousands of dollars to lend. You know, you can save up, 30, 40 grand and do gap lending and provide lending for like the renovation project or something for somebody. So if you want to do more passive, you want to be more hands-on active, do flip. So like Anthony said, there's so many different avenues you could go. So just being open to the possibilities, man. I wouldn't be, especially at where you're at. Don't be closed off to only one idea. Keep an open mind. I think it's important.
That's the beauty about real estate. The possibilities are endless in the real estate field, man. There's literally like anything that you want to do in the real estate, you can, man. One of the things, maybe he would be a great transaction coordinator.
Yeah, transaction coordinating. You could be that contractor, or how about there's guys like Robert Winsley. He started out in the real estate investing world, and he built a software for investors. He saw a need, and he's like, I'm gonna build a software. He was scaling a flipping company, and he's like, you know what? I know what would make this job a lot easier for the investor. And so he said he can't really scale. He found out he couldn't really scale flipping houses. It was too hard. You can only get to so many projects, and then it gets a little out of hand. So he's like, he developed a software because he has that software, that tech background. So there's tons of stuff. You can go into software, you can go into construction and project management, transaction coordination, title, mortgages, real estate agent, property management. I mean, those are just, a few. There's a lot more. So yeah, I'm excited for you.
So when you guys wholesale a deal, how do you guys find investors? That's a big thing for me, is learning when to find them. Like after you get the house under contract, how do you guys find your investors?
Well, we have them. That's the catch-22 when you're getting started. It's like, what do you need first? You need an investor, or do you need a contract? And you need both, right? And so, like Bailey said, if you find a deal, somebody will, and it's a legitimate, good deal on a property, somebody will help you. They'll come. You just tell the right individuals. You tell us. You go to the mixer. The RA mixer. Tell somebody, hey, I got this property under contract. Start calling around. They'll come. They'll come. Or you get with somebody like Felix over at InvestorLink, and he's got a whole list of investors.
And basically, there's two ways you can do it. And what we've learned is for both acquisitions and dispositions, when you're trying to lock up a deal, when you're trying to sell a deal, meeting face to face is the best thing you can do, because you actually see the person, they see you. There's a level of trust that just is present there that is not present on a phone call, cold calling people, and you actually get to have a conversation with this person, and you might hit it off, or like just them knowing who you are and having a conversation could be the difference. Let's say you have 50 buyers that you found, that you skip trace because you found some way of finding them through some sort of gathering records and stuff.
Yeah.
And you call these 50 people, but I think it's more powerful having that one person you met, those two people you met in person. They're probably more likely going to lock up your deal and have a much smoother transaction than one of the 50 people you found through a phone call because you met in person. So the best way to find your buyers would be to attend those types of real estate meetings, anywhere. Go to local real estate agents, talk to them, go to the Yuma REI meetings. Go to other meetings in Phoenix. In Phoenix, there's real estate meetings a lot more than there is here in Yuma. And contractors and investors go to those things to meet with other real estate agents and lenders. And that's where you can talk with them and be like, hey, I'm starting to wholesale, and I just wondered if you want to be part of our buyers list. If we get a deal, I can let you know, and you can let me know if you want it. I feel that's more better and stronger than having those buyers that you called but you've never met in person, and you're just sending it to them via text message or email.
Yeah, and on that note, the finding the buyers, I wouldn't get too caught up in that. And we're talking off camera about contracts and things. Yeah. Like actually getting, what is the legal documentation to get something under contract. I wouldn't get lost in those weeds. The main thing is study where to find the deal. Because if you can find a deal, like Anthony just mentioned, somebody's going to want it if it's a legit deal. And you have resources. I mean, you have us, if you need contracts or you need buyers or things like that. So I wouldn't get caught up in too much of that, because then you get caught up in paralysis by analysis. It gets overwhelming, and then you're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do it. And, you get in your head. So I would just say focus on where can I find the deal? Where's the best use of an hour of my time to find the deal? That's what I will focus on. All that other stuff, you got resources for.
Yeah, because nobody can duplicate that work for you. Because if Bailey finds a deal, he's gonna keep that. You know what I mean? You're gonna be on the ground level because you're the wholesaler. That's your job. The rest, it'll come. It's like you want to talk to some investors, and hey, can I get your number? Us now. Like, hey, these guys will buy. These guys, I'm looking for a project for these guys. If you keep that mental image, it's like, okay, I talked to this guy, this guy, this guy. They'll buy this, this, and this. And you talk to the homeowner, and you're like, I work with a group of investors. I have a guy that will buy this property. Yeah. So now you speak with confidence. You feel good about, okay, I can legitimately get this property sold for this individual. They need help. And then you go back to those individuals. But yeah, you'll be fine. Like Bailey said, just go straight to the investor with it, and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. So the contracts and stuff, all that, just whenever you find an opportunity, I think Zeke has some too. So you just ask Zeke, or if you need our help, we're here too.
Okay.
Yeah. And when you go through a transaction, you'll start to learn. Like you'll see that, okay, I don't know this. How do I get this information? So just start asking the people hey, what would I do next? Like, what's the next step? Okay. And walk yourself all the way through it.
Yeah, and I would just make sure that if you have a question you feel like is a good question or bad question, regardless of what the question is, ask a question to the right person, because you can make the mistake of asking somebody who may not know what they're doing, and you ask a good question to the wrong person, and it could be a waste of time, or they could lead you in the wrong direction, and now that puts you behind. So I would just make sure to ask the people that you trust.
Yeah. And make sure somebody that is actually doing what you want to do, or what you're trying to accomplish. There's a lot of people out there that are saying, hey, I do this, and then you ask them and they're like, oh, well, I just heard it from this guy because I've really never ever done it before.
Yeah. And you're
Yeah.
like, oh, okay.
It happens a lot nowadays.
Yeah.
Social media.
Yeah.
You've heard of that before?
Yeah. As people who are actually doing the business. I think.
Yep.
A guru, not a guru.
Yeah, a guru, not a
Yeah.
guru.
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there. We've met a lot of individuals. We sit in the room and they're talking. They sound like super educated, and you're just like, how many deals have you done? And they're like, I've never done any. I've helped a friend do a couple. And you're like, whoa. He's like, well, I watched a couple YouTube videos, and holy smokes,
Yeah.
you're gonna get yourself in trouble.
Mm.
So yeah, definitely teammate with somebody, and you'll be fine.
Alrighty. Well, I think that's pretty much it for today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good.
Yeah.
It's
A lot
great
of good
to meet
stuff.
you, Elijah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good to meet you.
Appreciate you coming on, man. So when's the next event?
Next event is on February 8th. Okay.
Okay.
Right as of right now, it's the Pint House Bar and Grill again.
Okay.
But in case anything changes, it'll be updated on the Yuma REA group
Okay.
So
So
you got to join that Yuma REI.
on Facebook.
on
Yes.
Facebook.
Okay.
Facebook Yuma REI group.
Okay.
Yep. And
Yep.
then that's where you can get all the updates.
Yeah, and then we're gonna document the journey. We're gonna just video you, kind of you seeing a project, everything, and then we'll also take a video so everybody can see of you looking at that property that we're gonna present you,
Mm-hmm.
and then we'll kind of show what you're gonna do with the property, how you want to go about it.
Sounds good.
So I'm excited for that.
I'm excited as well.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Hell
that'd be cool.
yeah.
Let's do it.
All right. We're next level home buyers. We don't buy properties.
We
We
buy
buy problems. All right. Let's get it.
Scale.